Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch The Force Awakens First Order Stormtrooper figure, which will be Hasbro's 2015 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive figure. So this figure comes packaged in a special type of packaging. It's basically, it has a white slip box with the Star Wars The Black Series logo done in black, embossed black on the front. And then we've got a picture of the First Order Stormtrooper there in the corner. You've got Hasbro's logo down below. On the side of the packaging, we've got a little bio about the Stormtroopers that tells us, how it started out with the clone troopers and then the Stormtroopers and now the First Order Stormtroopers. So just a little brief bio. On the back, we have kind of a cutout, I guess a window, Imperial type, window or lighting or whatever you want to call it on the back. And you can see the inner box, which is all black. And then it tells us it's the First Order Stormtrooper, and then it's got some legalese on the bottom. And on the other side, it's just got the First Order Stormtrooper. I guess this is the logo for the First Order, and then the rest of that image that was in the corner for the First Order Stormtrooper. So the white part just lifts off, and then you've got the figure displayed inside. You've got that First Order symbol. You've got the accessories that it comes with. So it comes with a blaster rifle and then a smaller blaster. It's got the name of the figure and the Star Wars The Black Series logo down below in white. On the back, it tells us we've got down here the evolution of the Stormtrooper, and basically it comes with this little booklet that just fits in the back of the packaging, and this is pretty much what makes it kind of the Comic-Con exclusive. I highly expect that we'll get a regular release of the First Order Stormtrooper released in the regular Black Series. So it's basically the packaging and then like this booklet that makes it special. There may be some other minor differences, I'm not sure, but these are the main things that make it exclusive. So for those of you going, I want to army build this guy, I highly expect that this figure will be released in the regular line. So anyway, this book that it comes with it's okay. It's basically, it kind of gives you a breakdown of the different versions of Stormtrooper, starting with the first clone trooper, which they call Phase 1, and then it just kind of gives you a breakdown about that figure, and then it shows you a diagram, basically an image of the clone trooper, and then like the accessories and stuff, the weapons that he comes with, and it kind of gives you a breakdown. And so the weapons and the breakdown itself are on this kind of a wax type paper, and then which just kind of overlays the image of the clone trooper. So they do that with each phase. So you've got the Phase 1 clone trooper, then we've got the Phase 2 clone trooper, and then again, a little brief bio and a breakdown of like the weapons and what his armor's made up of and stuff. And Phase 3 is the regular Stormtrooper that we're familiar with in the in the original movies. And again, gives you that kind of breakdown and everything, and with the weapons and stuff. And then we get to Phase 4, which is the First Order Stormtrooper. Now, unfortunately, they don't really give you a whole lot of details about the armor. It just gives you a little snippet. And then everything on the diagram is classified, so we don't even get the names of the weapons and stuff. But you'll see he comes with a blaster that looks like the traditional Stormtrooper blaster, and then he comes with the smaller blaster, and then he comes with this bigger rifle. Though the figure itself does not come with this bigger rifle. He only comes with the two smaller blasters. And then after that, it's got some blank pages, which basically says field notes. So I guess if you wanted to jot some notes down yourself, they've given you that ability. So nothing terribly special. And the book itself is kind of a hard cardboard with pretty thick stock paper for the actual pages. And just in case you're wondering, the packaging, the size of the packaging itself is pretty much about the same size as the regular Black Series figures. In fact, it's actually a little bit thinner. The regular Black Series packaging is just a hair bit wider. So, but for the most part, it's about the same size as the regular Black Series boxes that we get. Okay, so here it is. Here's our very first Star Wars The Force Awakens action figure outside of the packaging. And I gotta say, overall, the figure looks pretty good. Looks pretty true to what we see in the trailers for these guys. I don't know a whole lot about these guys other than they're the next evolution of Stormtrooper. But, they seem to have captured the overall look of them from what we've seen in the trailer. Paint applications are pretty simple. Just that pearl white for the armor with the black mixed in. Very similar to what we see with the 6-inch Black Series Stormtrooper figures, the regular Stormtrooper figures, as well as like the Clone Trooper figure that Hasbro's done as well. So very similar paint applications, very clean, no scuff marks on the armor, no dirt, anything like that. So very clean looking. So now on my figure at least, I do have some little paint blemishes, a little bit of sloppiness with the paint, most notably on his chest. This area here where these little black marks, where I don't know if these are supposed to be like rank insignia or something along those lines, but basically they're just little black marks, and a little bit of sloppiness with the paint there. Also on his back, a little bit of black. You've got that traditional design that we see on Stormtroopers. I always used to think it spelled oil on the back of the Stormtrooper as a kid. So it doesn't have the little square box around it, but you've got that circle and that and the two lines that you, like I said, normally see on a Stormtrooper. And they've painted the circle black on this one. The two lines are white, and then the circle is black. But a little bit of sloppiness with the black paint on there. But not anything too major, I would say. But just wanted to point that out. But otherwise, paint applications are pretty solid on the figure for the most part. He's also he's got that little canister thing that we typically see on Stormtroopers, though it's not actually attached to his belt like we see on the regular Stormtroopers. It's attached to his back, and it's just, again, white and black. He does have a belt that's a separate piece from the figure. It's doesn't appear to be removable, but it is made with that kind of rubber material, and it's got some pouches sculpted on, and again, it's just black and white. Now, his belt does not have a holster like the regular Stormtroopers do. However, they have given him this thing on his leg. It's a little clip or a little hole, and then the weapons have little clips on the side, and so you can just put the weapons in. So either the larger blaster or the smaller blaster you can put on the side of his leg. Now, he's only got the one, so you can only hold one or the other weapon, so he doesn't have a place to store both weapons, so he'll have to hold one weapon, and then you can put the other weapon on his leg. And another little difference between the regular Stormtroopers and this guy is you can see he's got some, I don't know if these are supposed to be controls, but he's got some added sculpting detail there on the inner side of his wrists. So that's a little bit different than the regular Stormtroopers. Accessories themselves are pretty much similar to what we've seen with the other Black Series figures. They're made with that kind of soft rubber material, so they do have some bend to them. The detail on the blaster is pretty good. It's very similar to the regular Stormtrooper from the original movies, the design of those blasters, though they are a little bit different. And most notably, the biggest difference is instead of being solid black, they've made it so it's white and black. And they've even added some detail like on the scope. So you've got some metallic silver painted on the scope for added detail. So overall, I would say the accessories look pretty good. And then he comes with a smaller blaster, and this is kind of unique to these guys. And again, painted white and black, so basically their weapons now match their armor. But I kind of like this little blaster. I think it looks kind of cool and kind of unique. And he holds the blaster or the weapons. He can hold in either hand. So he's got a trigger finger that sticks out on the right hand. So that's kind of the better hand to have him hold his weapons. But you can certainly have him hold the weapons in his left hand as well. And he holds the weapons nice and tight, so no issues there. And for the larger rifle, if you wanted, you can get that two-handed pose like you often see Stormtroopers. So the figure stands at just about 6 inches exactly, and he's on pretty much the same size as the regular Stormtrooper. Maybe he's a hair taller than the regular Stormtrooper, I think because his helmet is a little taller. And then as far as like the regular clone trooper, he's actually a little bit shorter, again because his helmet does not stick up quite as much as the clone trooper. But for the most part, they're all about the same height. And then just for some other size comparisons, I don't think these guys will ever be on camera together, but here's Darth Vader next to the First Order Stormtrooper, and you can see Vader is a bit taller. Here he is next to a TIE fighter pilot from the original movies. And again, they're about the same height. Here he is next to a biker scout. Again, about the same height. And just one more comparison. Here he is next to the New Hope Star Wars Han Solo figure. And they're again about the same height. Okay, so articulation on this figure is pretty good for the most part, and pretty much on par with what we've seen with like the regular Stormtrooper figures in this line. Head's on a ball hinge joint, so he can look left and right with no problem. He does not, with the way the neck is sculpted in the armor and stuff, he does not have a whole lot of up or down movement, even though he does have that hinge there on the neck. So he has a little bit, but not a whole lot. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints, but again, because of the way the armor is sculpted with those shoulder pads, he can't get his arm out much more than that. You can kind of turn it and get it out a little bit more, but that armor piece does limit somewhat how much you can get the arm out. He does not have a thigh swivel, or he doesn't have a bicep swivel, but he does have a swivel at the elbow, and he's got a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. He's got hinges on the wrist, so he's got the swivel at the wrist, and even though he does have a hinge, he doesn't really, again with the way the armor is sculpted, it kind of comes up over that hinge joint, so he doesn't really have a whole lot of up or down movement with the wrist. He's got the midsection joint, so he's got the rotation there, and he's got a little bit of crunch, and he can look back pretty good with that midsection joint. And then he's got the standard ball hinge joints at the leg, but again, with the way the armor and the belt and everything, it does limit, like he can't, that's about as much as he can do the splits. He can get his leg forward pretty good, but he can't really get his leg back at all because of the way the armor is sculpted on the figure. He does have a thigh swivel. He's got the double jointed knees, so he's got good bending at the knees, and then the figure does have ankle pivots, so good movement with the ankles. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. So this, as I said, is going to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive for Hasbro this year for their Star Wars brand. And the figure is going to cost $25. And there will be a limited number available at HasbroToyShop.com after the convention. So if you're not attending the con, then you can still possibly get this figure if you happen to be online when they go up. And again, the figure is only going to cost $25, so it's not terribly more expensive than the regular Black Series figures. As far as the exclusive version goes, you know, as I said, I'm 99% sure this figure will be released in the regular Black Series line without the white packaging and the booklet and stuff. And honestly, that stuff is kind of cool, makes it unique kind of cool collectible. But it's, if you don't have that stuff, at least in my opinion, it's not the end of the world. So it's kind of, you know, some people complain about exclusives because, you know, they can't get them. So I think, you know, this kind of fits the bill where it's unique enough to make a cool collectible as an exclusive. But if you don't get your hands on it, you know, being as I'm sure this figure is going to be released in the regular line, I don't think, you know, it would be the end of the world. So, you know, that makes it to me a pretty good exclusive for the most part. And, you know, again, this is our first Force Awakens action figure and toy, so that in its own right makes it kind of cool. So that's my review. I hope you enjoy it. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We'll have a full gallery of images for this figure over at JediInsider.com. There's a link in the description below for that. And as always, like I said, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.